Hello and welcome to the final whistle with me, Daniel Waterson, looking back at Hibs' 1-0 defeat against Motherwell. Coming up, James Delaney and I discuss the match, and there's post-match thoughts from Neil Lennon and Ryan Gauld. We'll not bother with the highlights of the game, so let's get straight into the analysis with myself and James.
James, we said on Saturday after the Elgin game we couldn't really judge the performance given the opposition too much. We also talked about tonight's game and the game in Paisley as being a measure of the rest of their season. Based on that evidence, that Hibs team struggling to make top six.
Yeah, it wasn't good at all. To be honest, today it was very, very poor. I don't really think at any stage of the contest we imposed ourselves on it at all. I thought, even at 0-0, if Motherwell got a goal here, there's absolutely no way we were scoring. And lo and behold, we get to about 2 minutes before half time and Motherwell get a goal, and there was absolutely no way we were going to get a goal in return for that. It's concerning at this stage of the season, given where we were around about this time last year. We were sort of lavishing praise on this Hibs team for their win over Motherwell. To see the transition in a year has been disappointing, and it has been slightly worrying. But it's one that you can't even, we've said already, you can't even really pinpoint exactly where things are going wrong. It is just not happening for us at the moment, and it's something that needs to be addressed sooner rather than later.
Yeah, you talked about the transformation from a year ago. You think the transformation to even 4 or 5 months ago? Our opening league game of the season is against Motherwell. We win 3-0 without having to leave second gear. Let's face facts, Motherwell weren't good tonight.
No, they were not.
They didn't have to put in much of an effort, and yeah, something's desperately wrong, and that is a team that doesn't just need a couple of strikers, that needs 3-4 new players before the end of January.
Yeah, and it's one of those where Motherwell, it's not really fair to say they just had to turn up tonight, but they just had to wait for us to make a mistake, and as we've already said, we could still be playing now, with only the guys sort of tending to the pitch on the field, and we still wouldn't score. It was that bad in terms of in front of goals. There was a lot of passing from side to side without any real penetration. I'm not one for saying that one player is going to completely change all of that, but I do think we were missing a sort of Scott Allen-esque figure today to kind of link the play. I think that's part of the problem with Canberra being out of sorts, is that the gap between him and our midfield is too big. And I think Ryan Gould's done tonight, showed a little bit of what he's capable of in sort of bridging that gap. It's obviously not quite enough, and it's not quite enough really in every area of the pitch. And we've got a week now to get that addressed, so it'll be interesting to see what happens over the next 7 days.
So let's get through this game then. 3 changes from the team that beat Elgin. Forced change in goal with Bogdan out injured. Ryan Porteous returns to the team in place of Sean Mackey. We see a debut for Stefan Omiyonga. He comes in for Vikinta Slivka, who could probably feel quite hard done by to get dropped given his performance on Saturday. But I mean, from the off, there's just that first half up until the goal, frankly, was just boring.
Yeah, I mean, all we got was Ryan Porteous' overhead kick. To be honest, to even sort of, didn't even get us out of our seats, but to kind of laugh at. But yeah, I mean, there wasn't really a point in the game where we thought, that's Motherwell's weak spot. We've exploited that now. We just need to go for that. And that's not to say that Motherwell looked absolutely solid in defence, because they didn't, and they didn't look better than us at all. We made them look like a good side, and I mean that's doing Stephen Robinson's men no disservice. They're very well organised and they're clearly very good at what they do, but we should be beating teams like that, and we should be beating teams like that comfortably.
Yeah, I mean, let's not forget this team just got put out by lower league opposition for the Scottish Cup, albeit Ross County are doing very well in the Championship, but Motherwell were at home on Saturday, lost to lower league opposition. I've already said that I didn't think they played well tonight. They looked bereft of confidence, and a more confident team perhaps could have done a lot more damage to Hibs tonight, but it put me in mind of Kelly in December, to the extent that when we seen the team sheet that day against Kilmarnock, we weren't really sure what the setup was, and it reflected on the performance and the result. And it was 10 minutes into the game, and there's 3 of us still debating about what the formation was tonight.
Yeah, and you don't want to say that message was kind of partially communicated by the players, but there were points where there was 2 or 3 players weren't quite sure where they were supposed to be, and I mean, if we're looking at this, we've got a slightly raised vantage point here at Fir Park, and I mean, we're looking, it's not quite an aerial view, but even when the 2 teams were set out from kick-off, we're slightly higher up, we should be able to see roughly what the formation is, and I couldn't tell you. I honestly couldn't tell you what it was. And look, that's not on the coaching staff. They have no prerogative to come up and tell us exactly how they're playing, and I'm sure that unless there is a Bielsa-esque spy in the Easter Road camp, there is.
It was me. I'm sorry. Yeah. I went to Airdrie instead of Motherwell.
Yeah. Unless there's somebody revealing kind of what the formation is, it's not up to them to tell us. But at times it did look like the players weren't 100% sure as well, and that's where you have issues. If the players aren't understanding the system, then you either have to change the system or you have to impose that upon the players, and it didn't really look like we were ready to do either tonight.
Yeah, so first half chances, Stefan Romeo started well, kind of faded out, got booked and ultimately hooked. His first action at Hibs shut is a half decent run, puts a ball in, the loose ball falls to Ryan Gauld, and I think that was maybe the 3rd or 4th minute, and it was probably our best chance of the game. Gauld's shot goes way over the bar, but for me he should at the very least be getting it on target. Yeah,
it's a difficult one. I'd like to see it back and see just if it's maybe sort of come off his shin or something, but it did look like one that was easier to sort of get on target than put off target, and it's not a great finish. I mean, it goes well over the bar. So I mean, that was, again, it's one that I need to see back and properly see how good a chance it was, but certainly from first viewing and from what we've seen of it, it looked like a half decent chance, and one that you expect a player of Ryan Gauld's talent to hit the target with.
Yep, and then from there it's probably kind of it for Hibs. Main has a shot that's easily held by Marciano. Canberra has one that goes over, but he's got his back to goal. The Ryan Poach's bicycle kick that we talked about, straight into the keeper's arms, but let's face it, a 19-year-old is doing incredibly well to get that shot away.
Yeah.
Horgan has an effort that goes wide. McGregor makes a crucial block to stop us going 1 down from a hasty cross. It was very impressive from Motherwell United, in fairness. And then, we lose Ryan Poach's. It looked like his knee again. Obviously, we've no confirmation of that yet. But is there any point rushing Ryan back? If we have, it might be a completely separate injury, but if he's tweaked his knee again, is it a case now of giving him the time that he needs to get that properly recovered?
Yeah, I mean, there's no point. I mean, as you've just said, he's 19 years old. There's no point kind of damaging his future career now, just so he can play in the game against St Mirren on Sunday. I really feel for him, because it's really no fun being out injured at all, and having just come back from that, and having been on the bench on Saturday where I thought he might get a run out. What were we, 29 minutes into the game today, and he's off. It must be a really tough one sort of mentally to take, and I mean, we'd like, obviously not aware of the extent of the physical damage as yet, but I'm sure that'll become clear in the coming days, and all we can say is wish him a speedy recovery, and just tell him not to rush back. He's going to be an important player for us going forward in the next few years, and we need him to be at a level where he can reach 100%, and there's no use rushing him back if we're going to get a similar injury as we had tonight.
More from James and I shortly, but let's hear from Neil Lennon speaking with Hibs TV.
Disappointing evening tonight, Neil. We had chances, but maybe just not the composure to put one of them away.
No, we should have. We shouldn't have got beat with the chances we had. So, I'm disappointed, unhappy. We're powder puff at the minute. In attack for some reason. It's not as if we, first half was eachy peachy. I thought Motherwell scored in their best spell of the game. Poor defending from us. But the second half was, we dominated the second half, but missed easy chances, and if we did equalise at that stage, we may probably have gone on to win the game. But the fact that we're missing the chances is, a source of frustration.
It is, and it's, as you've said yourself, it's been that way for a lot of the season, and clearly the reason why you want to try and bring a new face in up front, and you can.
Yeah, no question, and maybe in a wider position as well. I was pleased with Gauld, excellent performance again. The one trying to make something happen, create things. But we were too tepid first half. Second half a lot better, but we were a goal down, so we're chasing the game, and that's not acceptable from the players. They've got to do better. Some of them have got to do better.
And a frustrating evening for young Ryan Porteous. He comes back in, but he's picked up another injury, and you had to rejig things at the back as a result as well.
Yeah, because at that time we were solid, and we had a couple of decent chances from wider areas when we looked okay, and obviously the change disrupted things a little bit, and I felt that gave Motherwell a little bit of the ascendancy for 10-15 minutes, and we got caught. It's a poor goal. He's come a long way with the ball, and we shouldn't let him get that far.
In saying that, we probably knew Motherwell would be up for it. They didn't have a good result against Ross County. They battled hard, and it was a tough night all round.
I thought second half it was all us, and I'm not getting the feeling with this team at the minute, Cliff, that we're going to score. And time's gone past, you're thinking, yeah, we'll score. It was just the weight of possession and opportunities we're creating, and we created good opportunities again tonight, and our finishing was poor.
Some would say that you just need a wee break and a wee bit of luck, but you create your own luck.
Absolutely, yeah, you got to work hard for it. You got to earn the right to play at times. We like to play football, but they've got to earn the right. Didn't think we did that enough at times in the first half. Certainly second half I was pleased with the response that I got, but obviously not the result. Second half was a lot better.
So Sean Mackey comes on for him. I think at that point when Mackey comes on, it maybe becomes clear for the first time that we look like we're sort of 4-1-4-1 formation when Hanlon moves into the middle, Mackey's there at left back, and then Motherwell started to really kind of take control. Aribe goes past Whittaker pretty easily with a bit of pace, puts a great ball across goal. It's just begging to be tapped in, but thankfully there's no one there. Omiyonga then gets booked, and then the goal itself comes. I mean, you could pick out who to blame for this one. It's very good play again from the impressive Hastie, as I mentioned. Good through ball with Turnbull, easy enough finish, but so much space, so much time, just far too easy.
Yeah, I mean, you could have driven the Hibs team bus right the way through the middle of our defence there. The gap between the defenders was unbelievable, and it's a very nice ball through from Jake Hastie. I thought was impressive, and David Turnbull, who again I thought was good for Motherwell tonight. Very neat finish into the corner. I mean, for two experienced defenders, or three experienced defenders in that back line, in Paul Hanlon, Darren McGregor and Stephen Whittaker, it's disappointing to see them lose a goal like that. And I mean, they'll know it's disappointing, and it's one of those that's a lack of concentration. You kind of saw the inquest going on after the goal. There was a few players sort of gesturing, and regardless of who it is, we have to be better organised in defence like that, especially if we have lost a centre half like Ryan Porteous, and there we guys like Hanlon and McGregor have to know exactly where they have to be in those sort of attacks, and they do, and it's a lapse in concentration that's cost us.
Yep, and then that's the first half pretty much done and dusted. Slivka comes on for Omiyonga at half time. I think Rodriguez is booked for Motherwell early on in the second half, but I mean, our night was just summed up by perfectly when Darryl Horgan's put through on goal. The keeper's rushing out, so the goal is gaping if you get enough effort in the dink, but the dink is wildly inaccurate, and that about summed it up.
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to see that one back again and just kind of see where he was. I mean, I thought he was going to try and curl it with the instep. I know Motherwell had a couple of defenders coming back, but just with the position of the goalkeeper, I didn't think it was really right or the right angle for that type of chipped effort. Personally, again, I'm not in Darryl Horgan's position there. I don't know if he's maybe seen something that I haven't, but it's a poor finish, and it's disappointing because Darryl's a talented player, and a player who's more than capable of finishing off a chance like that, and he doesn't need me to tell him that. I'm sure he'll be disappointed as well.
Yeah, and I think after that Hibs just looked low on confidence. The guys were running through on goal but turning left for some inexplicable reason. There was a real fear to play a forward ball, and we just didn't really create a huge amount again after that. Canberry puts one well over from a Mackey cross. Turnbull has a shot over at the other line. Connor Salmon should probably finish it. His first effort is well saved by Marciano. His follow-up, he puts off the post, fair play, it's from a tight angle. And then Shaw comes on for Bartley. Hibs have a couple of chances in the last 10 minutes. There's a Canberry turning shot, which is easily punched away by the keeper. And then there's a ball that comes in, and it just misses Shaw after coming off a toe of Canberry. But the board goes up for 5 minutes, and I don't think Hibs got the ball in the box once in that last 5 minutes, and you just never felt at any stage in that second half that Hibs had momentum, they had confidence, they just never looked like scoring a goal.
Nah, not at all. It's a message that I'm sure has been drummed into the players right now. There was a complete lack of creation, a complete lack of creativity in the final third. Even with the multitude of balls that were going, or were being cleared, they were getting cleared right out the pitch, and it was 2 or 3 touches before a Hibs player was getting on the ball. There's just nobody seemed to want to sort of try and do something a little bit different. I thought fair play to Vikintis Slivka when he came on, looked like he actually wanted to drag us forward a bit, but you can't have one player dragging forward an entire team. You need the entire team to move as one, and it's kind of difficult at the moment to see. Right, I mean, you can see what's going wrong, but it's difficult at the moment to see why it's going wrong. If it is just a confidence issue with the players, if it is players, not quite kind of coming together and fitting in the sort of jigsaw at the moment in the same way they did last season. It's easy to turn around and say that without guys like Martin Boyle in the team, we look weaker, even though I think it is true. We should still have enough talent on that pitch and enough talent in this squad to put in a much better performance than that. It doesn't get any easier because we go to St Mirren on Sunday now. St Mirren side who've just gone bottom of the league, and he'll be looking at this Hibs team and the form that this Hibs team's in and thinking, well, that's the perfect way to kickstart our comeback. Yeah,
so you've already said they lost 4-0 to Celtic tonight. Decent comeback against Alloa, but they went 2-0 down to Alloa in the Cup. They're having an absolute mare of a season. So yeah, this is where you get the old Hibs fan feeling comes in, where you just kind of roll your eyes and think, we know what's coming here. Yeah. And it's up to this team to prove us all wrong, I suppose.
Yeah, I mean, I never liked our role as the slump busters, but we seem to have that for a few years, where any team that was out of sorts and out of form and needed a confidence building 3 points, you'd put them on the pitch against Hibs and they'd pick up that win and go on a little bit of a run, and absolutely do not want to see us go back to those days. Played St Mirren twice already this season. I thought they were absolutely dire in the home game, at the Paisley 2021 Simple Stadium, whatever it's called now. Yeah, the Digital Dome. I thought they were really poor, and I thought we weren't great, but ground out a 1-0 win, which was fine. Take the 3 points where they come. I didn't think they were fantastic when we played them at Easter Road, albeit they get Adam Hamill scored an unbelievable goal to as part of a 2-2 draw. Yeah, I mean, Adam Hamill gets an unbelievable goal from the halfway line, and that obviously doesn't help. We get, I think, 2 from Ryan Porteous, and that is to make it 2-2. So it's tough at the moment to kind of see how we line up and what we do different on Sunday compared to today. But again, just looking at the team on paper, it's a team that's more than good enough to be beaten St Mirren, a team that should be more than good enough to beat Motherwell tonight.
And now here's post-match thoughts of Ryan Gauld talking with Cliff.
Ryan, a frustrating evening for us here in Motherwell. Sum that one up for us.
Just not good enough, I think. In the first half, I thought we were very poor. We were second to every ball. We never really created much. We were kind of on the back foot for most of it. Second half, I thought the performance improved, but we didn't really do enough to get the goal to equalise and then to push on for a win.
Pretty similar to what the manager's thoughts were. He thought we controlled the game in the second half. We did have chances, but was it maybe just a wee bit of lack of composure to take one of them?
Yeah, we did make a couple of chances in the second half, but I suppose if we're wanting to win games and move up the table, then I think we need to be creating more chances, and then when the opportunities do come, we need to be taking them, and unfortunately tonight we've not created enough. and you're never going to win games if you're not creating the chances.
I have to give a little bit of credit to Motherwell, to be fair. They had a poor result on Saturday in the Cup, and they were always going to come out with their sleeves rolled up. It's a difficult place to come to, and it was a tough battle out there.
Yeah, it's never easy to play against Motherwell, especially here at Fir Park. They make it as difficult as they can for you. They're very aggressive, and they've got their own style of play that seems to have worked for them in the last couple of seasons, and they made it difficult for us today. Whenever I don't think we stood up to it as much as we could have, but yeah, credit to them for sticking it out.
And from your own point of view, obviously back playing in the Premiership, is the game still as fast and furious as it was the previous time you were in it?
It is, aye. From my experience tonight, it's the same. I think there's perhaps a slight. It's gotten even faster. It's gotten more, maybe more tactical as well. But now we need to get our heads down and make sure that we can pick up the 3 points on Sunday at St Mirren.
It's a case just of getting back on the training pitch and working through it. Sometimes you have a bad day at the office, but there's the opportunity on Sunday to get things moving forward again.
Yeah, definitely. Like our aim was to come and to pick up points tonight, and unfortunately we've not done that. So Sunday is even more important now that we go to St Mirren Park and we get the 3 points that we'll need to work hard for. But I'm sure if everyone rolls their sleeves up, we'll be able to get the 3 points.
So that'll do us for this week's episode. If you're a madman, extended highlights from Wednesday are now available to watch, with the rest of this season's games, as well as a huge archive of all the other classics, all on Hibs TV. Next up for us is a trip west to face St Mirren and Paisley on Sunday. Tickets are available now for that one, and the match will also be broadcast live on Hibs TV. Until the next time, my thanks to James Delaney as always for joining me. Thank you for listening, and join us next time on The Final Whistle.